Something we cannot see protects us from something we do not understand. The thing we cannot see is culture, in its interest, psychic, or internal manifestations. The thing we do not understand is the chaos that gave rise to culture. If the structure of culture is disrupted, unwittingly, chaos returns. We will do anything to defend ourselves against that return. Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Glad you showed up. I feel like I need to make a bit of an introduction for this channel that is now, as you can tell, brand new. I really want to create a community. The culture, the very fabric of society, seems to be crumbling around us. And I really feel like part of that is just due to everybody being so divided. And that division isn't an accident. Everything's been orchestrated for the last 100 years, ever since America took itself back from the big crony capitalists. This isn't new. We've been here before. And we're going to get out of it just like we did last time. This is really just an introduction video. I want everybody to know that there's a place that they can come to. A place where people just want to be peaceful and happy. A place where anyone and everyone from all walks of life can find the things that make us, that bring us together. Find a way to stop focusing on all of the things that make us different, because there are so many more things that make us the same than there are things that divide us. Regardless how you feel about somebody's political policies or their gender or orientation, there's just so much more that bring us together than there are things that pull us apart. Everybody wants to have good food. Everybody wants to have a happy life. Everybody wants to have prosperity in their life. Some people want to have kids, some people don't. It doesn't matter. Everybody wants a place where they can speak freely without worry of prejudice or perjury. That's what I'm trying to do here with this channel. I want to find like-minded people who can embody this spirit that I'm trying to convey. There's a lot of lonely people out there, and I'm one of them. Even though I have a wife, kids, a job where I end up seeing 1,000 people every day, it doesn't matter. We need genuine connections. So welcome to the attic, where I have set up my makeshift studio for the Millennial Wise Man YouTube channel and the Millennial Wisdom podcast that it will be debuting shortly. Honestly, I shouldn't be here. I work 60 hours a week. Like I said, I've got 2 kids, I've got a wife. I work my butt off. I've got way too much to do, but I'm really feeling a call to action. I have watched YouTube grow over the last 15 years at this point. I still remember the original viral videos being the first time that videos would touch millions of people and it not be on a mainstream media platform, but now the internet really is mainstream. I have watched so much YouTube over the years, and I feel like I have so much to say, and I need to be able to speak it. I need an outlet, and I want to help people in any way that I can. I want to be able to give advice when people need it. I want to be able to be a friend when someone needs someone to talk to. I could be anything you need me to be. All I want is to make people happy. Being able to give back to this world in any way that I can. Well, I feel like that's an endeavor worth setting some extra time aside for. Now, this is all brand new for me. all these microphones, this laptop, camera. It's all new. So, try and go easy on me. I'm still working on figuring all this stuff out. I'm not exactly the most tech savvy person, but you know what? I'm gonna take a stab in the dark and see what I can make happen. That's much better, isn't it? That looks much better. More professional. But I'm going to be having a weekly podcast going out. The first one's going to be... The first real one's going to be actually really nice. It's going to be set up on the back of my friend Josh Argentino's boat, and we're going to have a conversation about how he started a business from scratch, especially in a marine industry, which, if you don't know, boating, especially in an area with lots of water, typically has a lot of competition. So we're going to be having a conversation with him, and I'm going to have him sort of talk about all the little tips and tricks that he found for his success. And I really think it's going to be a great conversation. Plus, it's going to be on the back of his boat, which, I mean, come on, that's going to be nice. But generally, I just wanted people to understand a little bit more about me and why I'm starting this channel to begin with. I want people to be able to have a place that's not going to be just shoving negativity down their throat every time they open any channel that they're watching. It seems like the drama and everything that goes on in day to day is just all that anyone ever sees, and people need to realize that there is so much more good in the world than there is evil. There's a lot of evil, but there is a whole lot of good. Every day I see signs of it, and I feel like we're finally reaching a turning point in America, and maybe the whole world, where everybody seems to be waking up and realizing that this world, this life is not what it should be. We are not in a place where people are happy. We're not in a place where people are thriving. And that's a problem. And unfortunately, it starts with us. We need to work together. We need to come together. We need to stop these petty squabbles and rivalries back and forth. United we stand, divided we fall. That is a very famous quote, and holds so much weight and truth behind that statement. If we can heal the divide between the right and the left, the genders, the race discrimination, everything, we need to put all this stuff aside. It's crazy to me because when I was a kid, I mean, I feel like America's going backwards. I was able to grow up as a kid, and there was lots of good stuff still going on. We didn't have these crazy riots all the time, and, you know, it really started with, and you know what, I'm not going to get into a political discussion right off the bat. We'll have plenty of time for that in the future podcasts, where I will be bringing you all sorts of information. I'm going to try and have a guest as often as possible, but I'm not going to just interview people for no reason. I want to make sure that the person I'm interviewing will actually bring value to you, my audience member. So obviously, like I said, this is all brand new for me. I have watched plenty of YouTube. I've done plenty of research into how is best for me to get this sort of a thing started. And I'm going to do my best. I'm going to keep working every day to make this content better and better for all of you. Like I said, this video is really just an introduction on what you can expect to see from me. I have worked many jobs. I've learned many life lessons over the years, because the quickest way to learn is to fail, and I have failed many times in my life, and I've learned many different things, different lessons that, you know what, maybe if I can pass those lessons on to someone like you, you can, you know, take that information and not make the same mistakes I did. I've got plenty of stuff to say. We've got plenty of things to talk about. I'm going to try and do live streamings as much as I can, especially after I start getting some actual people in here, get some viewers on the channel. I have already shot the first real podcast with Josh Argentino, and that's already shaping up and looking really good. I want to do a little more here and there. I need to do a little more editing on the video before I post it. I want to make sure that it's really good and ready to really showcase the amazing job that he has done with his business in the last couple of years. I actually have pretty much finished the video, and I'm going to be sending it over to him to make sure he approves of everything that went on. If there's anything he needs changed, I'll deal with that. But you should be looking forward to that in the next week or so. It's a really good conversation, about an hour and a half long, of just marine and boating in general and the lessons he's learned in the industry and the success that he's had in his small business. I want to provide value to people. I want to be able to give people information in a way that's not biased. I have never been one to take sides. I've never been a person to be like, oh, well, no. You got to look at a situation as a whole from all angles. You need to be able to really dissect an issue and do critical thinking skills, which is something that is just sorely lacking in today's society. Everybody hears or sees a headline and they just go nuts because it spurs an emotional response. And I mean, I fell for that a lot when I was younger myself. Now I enjoy doing research. I enjoy if I see a headline that catches my eye, I'm going to go on the internet. I'm going to start seeing, what's this quote from, who said it, who recorded it, where are we going with it? Is there an agenda being pushed? I mean, anyone who's my age or younger knows that watching any of the mainstream media is an utter waste of time. And I'm sure you know that, because why would you be watching a station that's supposed to be giving you news, but instead of actually giving you news is giving you a current event that has been spun in a way that makes it sound either good or bad for whichever party they're trying to talk about? Half of the headlines that you see nowadays are spun in a way that make them seem so incredibly important, when we have real issues in this country. And like some of the ones I've already said, between the division between people, we have plenty of issues in this country that don't involve sensationalist headlines. And I found a lot of times that there are headlines that are turned into stories when the story ultimately has nothing to do with anything important going on nowadays. The media loves to distract us. Have coffee with me. If coffee's your thing. If not, have some tea, milk, soda. I don't know. I wouldn't drink soda. I've cut soda out of my life a while ago, and I am so thankful for it. I've cut out fast food. I've cut out sodas. I pretty much exclusively, I will not buy a drink at a gas station unless it is something that actually has pure sugar in it. No high fructose corn syrup, no artificial sweeteners. You will do much better for yourself if you just drink something with real sugar in it. There's a number of reasons why artificial sweeteners are bad for you. A, they make you fat. B, they give you cancer. I mean, I don't know how many more different things I could say. That it does a whole host of other things to you. But at this point in my life, I've realized that it is really hard to get away from the poisons in the foods and drinks that we have here in America. And unfortunately, unless RFK can magically close the 10-point gap in the next 6 months and become president over Trump or Biden, unfortunately, we're going to be stuck in the same scenario that we're already in right now. We're going to have another 4 years of more of the same, and then we'll have another sham election that gets stolen by somebody. Ultimately, our elections are just become who can cheat better. Who can cheat better, the right or the left? And the left is really good at cheating. Really good at cheating. And you can get mad at me for saying that, but again, I do not subscribe to either political party. The right, really good at gerrymandering their districts to help give them the best possible outcome. The left, really good at just doing everything else, like controlling the media, so that way they can make sure you think a certain way by the time you get there with your preconceived notions, because the information you're being given is highly curtailed in a way that makes the other side seem bad. And I'm not giving any excuses to either of them. Both sides of our political parties are completely corrupt from the top down, and that, I mean, there's a couple things that cause that. The main thing is the Citizens United case, along with the Patriot Act, both of which basically made unlimited amounts of corporate money allowed to be donated to political campaigns. Because you know what all of us American voters were screaming for in the early 2000s? We want corporations to own our politicians. Yeah! Nobody ever wanted that. It was not anything any of us actually voted for. But it happened. It got pushed through. And unfortunately, we're going to need a president smart enough and strong enough to actually stand up to strike that down, because it's going to be a tough bill to get struck down. But it's one thing that needs to happen. The only way that America is ever going to get a political system that's for the people is if we get corporate money out of our political structure, and that's the biggest issue right now. Everyone knows it. And unfortunately, the only person talking about it's RFK. Trump, I imagine, will go in there, and honestly, it's kind of a crapshoot. I have no idea what he's going to end up being able to do. I genuinely feel like he has good intentions for the country, but he's going to be fought and balked at every turn in every way that the Democratic Party can to try and make it so he can't get anything done. And that's a big problem. At the same time, if Biden wins, we're just going to have another 4 years of not actually having a president, because it's all the people in the background pulling his puppet strings that are actually the ones running this country. It doesn't matter what you think of the Democrats, guys. It is painfully obvious that Biden's mental health is in decline. He's 80. Does anyone know an 80-year-old in their life that they think should be running the country? I don't like that RFK is 70, but he's the youngest out of the three in the running right now. And I didn't mean for this to go as political as it did, but I'm kind of just speaking my mind and what's going through my head right now. I really want to give people the ability to come online and find community. Ultimately, I think that's what I'm trying to build. I want to build a community. I want to take like-minded people and give them a place where we can have intellectual debates, where people can share knowledge. Somebody has an issue with their house, you can get somebody to give you a little bit of advice there about it. Somebody needs help working on their car, can't figure out what I need. Oh, here you go, buddy, I got you. Or if you just need someone to talk to. I would love it if I could just start up doing live streams and just be there for people that are lonely, because I know how it feels to be lonely, and no one deserves to feel lonely. It doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl or any of the other in the spectrum. I don't judge. You can be whatever you want. That's what's amazing about America. Anyone can be anything they want in America, and you are accepted for it. That's why we need to preserve this great country, and we have to fight to protect it. This went a little off the rails, but I'm really just speaking my mind, and I'm going to keep doing that. I don't feel like I should have to censor myself. I want to find a way to make this amazing for everybody. I think I'm going to do bits where I as I read the books that I read, I want to find the wisdom that I think is most important, and I want to be able to squish that down into a bite-sized bit and then give the general lesson to you without all the extra fluff and filler. Ultimately, that's what I want to do. I want to make this channel helpful to everybody. Anyone who wants to come in here. I'm going to put up shorter videos that'll be just about advice that I've found that I wish I had known earlier in my life. Hopefully I can give you guys this wisdom earlier on in your life, and you can take that and run with it and not have any issues moving forward. I mean, I've had many jobs. I've been a delivery driver for many years now, making really good money. I was a car salesman. I've done flooring. I've done lighting design. Along with a lot of other stuff. I've done a whole lot of jobs. I mean, I did retail for 7 years just because I was stupid and actually enjoyed it until I realized it was a career that would never go anywhere. So, anyway, like I said, this has kind of been just a quick little introduction into what you can expect of me, what you can expect of this channel, and the things that I'm going to be doing moving forward. Definitely look out for the first episode of the Millennial Wisdom Podcast with Josh Argentino from Argentino Marine. We're going to be hosting that here shortly, and it should be up in the next week or so. And if you have made it all the way to the end of this video, listening to my rambling in this impromptu introduction video, you're a real one. Welcome to the Millennial Wisdom community. With me, the Millennial Wise Man.